Let me start with what you did in Iowa last night. You brought your Bible to the event.
Right.
What do you believe a person's faith matters to voters? Do you believe a person's faith should matter to voters when it comes to the presidency?
Well, I can't speak for everybody. To me, that has a big bearing. The evangelicals have liked me a lot, and I'm not saying I'm the perfect person, but they have liked me a lot. And I went and spoke largely in front of evangelicals last night, and we had a tremendous time. We had standing ovations, and they had a lot of fun. I brought my Bible, and they liked that. My Bible that was given to me by my mother. And we had a great time, and the polls indicate that I'm doing very well with the evangelicals in Iowa and elsewhere. So I'm very happy about that.
In responding to this controversy about the questioner at your town hall in New Hampshire, you tweeted out that you're not morally obligated to correct anybody who criticizes the president, and I think you're right about that. But isn't it appropriate at times to raise the level of political discourse and to correct sort of mythologies that are out there so that we're ultimately all dealing with the same set of facts?
Well, I think so, but the president can really defend himself very well. He's a very capable person for that, purpose, and he's able to do that. And I sort of put myself in his position, and I say, well, what happens when somebody says something about me? Is he going to defend me? And I can tell you emphatically that the answer is no. So this man got up, and he felt very strongly, whoever he was, he felt very, very strongly and very powerfully about something, and whether we all agree with it or not, it wasn't my obligation to defend. In fact, as you know, because I also tweeted that this is the first time I've ever gotten in hot water for not saying anything. I didn't do anything.
But the other part of his question was it sounded like he wanted to get rid of all Muslims from America. That's the part that some people believed was the most offensive part of his question. Why not push back on that?
Well, I feel strongly the Muslims are excellent. I know so many Muslims that are such fabulous people, but there is a problem. I mean, there is no question about it. And, we can be politically correct and we can say there is no problem whatsoever. But the fact is there is a problem with some, and it's a very severe problem, and it's a problem that's taking place all over the world. But I have such great respect and love for so many of the people. I mean, they are great people. Can
you imagine supporting or being comfortable if a Muslim ever became president of the United States?
I can say that, it's something that at some point could happen. We'll see. I mean, it's something that could happen. Would I be comfortable? I don't know if we have to address it right now, but I think it is certainly something that could happen.
You said you'd had no problem putting a Muslim in your cabinet.
Some people have said it already happened, frankly, but of course you wouldn't agree with that.
Actually, let's get to that. Why won't you concede that the president is a Christian and that the president was born in the United States?
Because I don't talk about people's faith. Now, in all fairness, he said he was a Christian, and he said he is a Christian. He attended the Church of Reverend Wright, and so, I'm willing to take him at his word for that. I have no problem with that.
Well, why not take the birth certificate at its word?
Well, I just don't want to discuss it. I mean, frankly, when you get into these subjects, I want to talk about jobs. I want to talk about the military. I want to talk about the vets and, frankly, how badly they're treated. They're treated like third-class citizens. We're treating the illegal immigrants better than we treat our vets. And those are the things that I want to talk about. The other is a long, complex subject that I just don't like talking about, and I won't talk about it.
Don't you think you would have people more open to your message on jobs and the economy and things like that if you sort of put that other thing to rest?
No, Chuck, I think we have, two things that are totally different. I just don't discuss it, and really it hasn't been brought up for a long time. I mean, you're bringing it up this morning, but I'm into the world of jobs. I'm into the world of military and vets, and frankly, I discuss Obamacare because Obamacare, you see what's happening with the premiums. They're going through the roof. A lot of problems with Obamacare.
Two quick questions. This week, we're going to see a lot of world leaders come to the United States, come to Manhattan, probably hanging out at some of your buildings that you own. Let me start with Vladimir Putin. Your outside counsel intimated that you may have a meeting with the Russian president. Do you plan on trying to do that?
Well, I had heard that he wanted to meet with me, and certainly I am open to it. I would love to do that if he wants to do that. I don't know that it's going to take place. I'm not sure. I know that people have been talking, but we'll see what happens. But certainly if he wanted to meet, I mean, I'd enjoy doing it. I've been saying a relationship is so important in business, and it's so important in deals, and so important in a country. And if President Obama got along with Putin, that would be a fabulous thing. But they do not get along. Putin does not respect our president. And I'm sure that our president does not like him very much.
And let me ask you about the Pope's visit. He's been pretty tough on capitalism and pretty tough on people that he believes overly worship money. You're somebody that likes to brag about how wealthy you are. What do you make of what the Pope would think of sort of the way you speak about money?
Well, I think if he knew me, I think he'd like me. If he doesn't know me, perhaps he wouldn't. But if he knew me, I think he'd probably like me. He is a little bit of a different kind of a pope. There's no question about it. He's taken on some pretty big political subjects like climate change.
Right.
And it's very interesting. But he's got a certain way about him that's very unique and very nice.
All right, Donald Trump, I'm going to leave it there.